Yes, it's a beautiful skyline here in Colombo. Longdon Place is come alive as we welcome all our viewers to this super final, live and exclusive on Sirius TV. CRNFC and Havelocks meet in the Caltex Clifford Cup knockout for the year 2006. And mind you, these two teams are meeting in a big-time final of this magnitude after 32 long years. The CRNFC won this trophy back in 1989. The Havelocks did so in 1981. But who is going to win it today? That is the pertinent question that everyone would be asking. The crowds have come in their numbers. Both CR and the Havelocks are completely focused on having a great game of rugby. On this day, who will come out on top? That's the team that's going to take away this prestigious trophy. Now then, let's take a look as to how these two teams entered this stage. CRNFC beat Gaul by 54 points to 5. The Havelocks then beat the Army by 34 points to 13. Then last week in the semi-finals, the CRNFC beat the Air Force by 21 points to 13. And Havelocks got the better of CHNFC by 15 points to 10. That was a real surprise in this tournament so far. But can the Havies do it again? That is a big question. Let's see whether Roshan Wattawala, my co-host, who's looking absolutely smart, will have an answer to what I stated. Roshan?
ස්තුතියි බ්‍රයන් මේ මොහොතේදී සජීවීව අපහායක් වසින සිරස ක්‍රීඩාලෝලී මිතුරන් හැමදෙනාම තාමත් ආදරෙන් අපි පිළිගන්න කැමති ක්ලිෆර්ඩ් කුසලාන අන්තර් සමාජ පරාජිතන් පිටුදැකීමේ රග්බි තරඟාවලියේ තීරණාත්මක අවසන් මහා තරඟය පවත්වන්නටයි අප මේ සූදානම් වන්නේ කොළඹ ලන්ඩන් ක්‍රීඩා සමාජ පිටියේ සිට විශේෂයෙන්ම ක්ලිෆර්ඩ් ආර්යාව හිව් ක්ලිෆර්ඩ් ආර්යාව විසින් 1911 තිලින කළ ක්ලිෆර්ඩ් කුසලාන සඳහායි මේ දෙපිළ අද තරඟවත් ඉන්නේ මේ ඔබ දකින්නේ ක්ලිෆර්ඩ් කුසලාන තරඟාවලියේ 2006 වර්ෂයේ මෙවර අවසන් තරඟයට CR කණ්ඩායම සහ Havelocks කණ්ඩායම සුසුකම් ලබාගත් ආකාර CR කණ්ඩායම ගාල්ල ක්‍රීඩා සමාජය පරාජය කළා. අර්ධ අවසන් පූර්ව වටේ තරඟවලදී අනතුරුව Havelocks කණ්ඩායම යුද හමුදා කණ්ඩායම පරාජය කළා. අවසන් පූර්ව වටේදී ඉක්ුත් සතියන්තයේදී CR කණ්ඩායම ගුවන් හමුදා කණ්ඩායම පරාජය කළා. Havelocks කණ්ඩායම පරාජය කළේ ප්‍රබල CHN FC කණ්ඩායම. ඒ අනුව 1981 මෙම කුසලානය දිනාගත්තා Havelocks කණ්ඩායම. මේ වගේම 80 දශකයේදී අවසන් වරට CH කණ්ඩායම 1986 දී මෙම කුසලානය දිනාගත්තා. එදා මෙදාතුරු ඉතිහාසින් පසුව තවමත් ක්ලිෆර්ඩ් කුසලානය CR කණ්ඩායම හෝ Havelocks කණ්ඩායම දිනාගෙන නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අද ජයග්‍රාහකයා කවුද? විශාල පිරිසක් තරඟේ නැරඹීම සඳහා මෙම ක්‍රීඩා පිටට පැමිණ තිබෙනවා. ඉතාමත්ම සෞම්‍ය යෝග්‍ය කාලගුණයක් පවතිනවා ලන්ඩන් ක්‍රීඩා සමාජ ක්‍රීඩා පිටියේදී. අපේ විදුලිය ආලෝකය මැදින් මෙම තරඟය තවත් විනාඩි කිහිපයකින් ආරම්භ කරන්න සූදානම්. රැඳී සිටින්න සිරස TV සමග බ්‍රයන් අපට අවස්ථාව.
Well, there we go, the Sri Lanka Rugby Football Union. Well, their logo is on the ground. That's, of course, our sponsor, Caltex. They should be given a bouquet of flowers for what they have done. They've brought the crowds along. They've, in fact, hyped up rugby here in Sri Lanka. And today it's going to be very interesting because I've got a wonderful commentary team. So that is the team introduction. That's Kishore Gomes, the CEO of Caltex, being introduced to the CRNFC team, captained by Pavitra Fernando, who's no stranger to the rugby arena, fantastic player. And with Kishore is, of course, Priyantha Ekanaika, who's the president of the Sri Lanka Rugby Football Union. On paper, the CRNFC look as though they are the team that could take it away. But the way that we watched Havelocks play last week, anything could happen. Referee for today's game is Jamal Dean, a very senior referee, and he's sure will have his work cut out controlling these two teams out in the park. That's Kishore Gomes, the CEO of Caltex, being introduced now to the Havelocks team. Priyantha Ekanaika is also in the picture, and we're proud to tell all our viewers that there's a good crowd that is coming to watch these finals, so there's great support though for rugby. Now, talking about all that and more, I've got a very interesting thing coming up now. We are ready for the toss. Now let's see what happens out in the center. The two captains are with Jamal Dean, the referee. And the coin will be put up by, of course, the Havelocks skipper. Yes, I think we'll come back to where the Havelocks will be attacking from what end. They seem to have won the toss. Jamal Dean with his two judges. And that is Pavitra Fernando. Like I mentioned earlier, we also got a very interesting commentary team today, headed by, of course, Chandrashan Perera, needs no introduction. There's also Ajita Beratna, former Sri Lankan captain, a superb rugby player even from his school days. He did captain Trinity College Kandy, one of the finest schools in rugby. He also won the Lion for Trinity. And, of course, there's Vimal Perera giving him able support. So Vijayanathan is also in the equation, so you got a very interesting commentary team. There we are. That's Chandrashan waving his hand at all of us, and by his side is Ajit Aberatna. That's Ajit Aberatna. Now I wonder, yes, so that's Vijayanathan, and to the right of Chandrashan is Vimal Pera. That is Ajit Aberatna at last waving his hand. Very modest personality, absolutely a very good ruggerite during his years and a great reader of the game. I think I've done all the speaking now. I think it's high time that we take a look at the crowds there. Roshan Butterwala, your views please.
ඔව් ඇතරම බ්‍රයන් මේ තරඟාවලිය ඉතාමත්ම වැදගත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා රග්බි ඉතිහාසයට ඒ වගේම ශ්‍රී ලංකා රග්බි සංගමයට ඔවුන් මෙවර අනුග්‍රහකයන් දෙදෙනෙකු සොයාගෙන තිබෙනවා. පාසල් රග්බි පිටියට සිංග අනුග්‍රහ ලබා දෙනවා. අන්තර් සමාජ පිටියට කැල්ටෙක්ස් අනුග්‍රහ ලබා දෙනවා. දැන් සියල්ල සූදානම් මේ ක්ලිෆර්ඩ් කුසලාන අන්තර් සම රග්බි තරඟාවලියේ අවසන් මහා තරඟයයි මේ ආරම්භ වන සූදානම් වන්නේ. බ්‍රයන් ඔබට අවස්ථාව.
Yes, the players are on the field, and it gives me immense pleasure to cross over and say hi to our match commentators Chandrashan Perra and Ajit Aberatna first up.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Sri Lanka. Have a look at the Havelocks card. It's a cup final time, so it's Havelock side, Amar Singh, Rajiv Pereira, Shafi Hassan. Big job on their hands. Dasanaka, Seniratna, Bandara, Ruan Suranga. Good skipper and a nice task on his hands today. Amin Jamal, Metruan, Jai Surya, Asang Yarachi, Boteju Soiza, Rodrigo Lalindra, lots of experience, and Tiran Harrison, that hard running number 15. Let's have a look at the
Yes, we have
card.
Eranga, Swarna Tilaka, Andra Pereira, Dharma Tilaka, Karatelis Kumar, Pavitra captain, Sarifodin, number 7, Dinesh Kumar, U Hettiarachi, Mohammed Sharif, Nuwan Chamara, Asanga Rodrigo, and fullback though is number 12 there, T. Henry, Shamil Mohammed, and Zulki Hamid as scrum half.
Well, line up, Jamaldeen, IRB qualified senior referee for Sri Lanka, former Sri Lanka police and Sri Lanka player, of course. Nice to have him all dressed up for this big occasion. Ajit, it's the Clifford Cup finals.
Yes, after 32 years, these two teams are meeting, and what a final it's going to be. It's a kick-off time, and we see the start here. We are attacking the hockey ground end. Havelocks with the ball, securing the ball there, and they got a start here, going for touch, and they have not found touch, and here's something that's going to happen here. I'm sure the CR will attack as much as possible after having got into the Havelocks territory. Chandrashan, I believe that's a tactic today.
Oh, early morning, of course, that's a knock forward. He's not going to play it much rugby that way, mate. Come all the way back because that was a nice basketball push. Ravi, tell me about this. Front row stories, both you and Ajit, of course, serious Pac-Man. Tell me about the front row game today.
Definitely, Shan, it's going to be a tussle between the two forward, two packs here. I would say, I think CRNFC having an edge with some solid forwards. They've been dominating throughout the season, but of course they're going to come against some experienced forward like Hassan, who have been playing for a long time with the heavy side. And let's see which side is going to dominate today.
First scrum in trouble. The scrum half recovers well though. And he had a very good game in the semi-finals with the heavy scrum half. But Ajit, today, CR is not going to let them get away that lightly.
Yes, I think we've seen a try coming up for CR here. I'll answer that in a minute, Chandrashan. Something exciting going on here. CR on the attack. And if this ball comes CR way, surely they have a scoring opportunity.
Absolutely. I think Omar Sharafuddin just could not offload as skipper Paitu in the line. Now Havelocks regroup. So early morning rush for CRNFC and a chance to put some points on the board. Hands. There we go. Sheriff trying to get away from one. Good clean-up coming in. And there's Big Henry, I think, with the ball, just trying to get set. Yes.
That's a fourth phase coming up for the CRNFC. Good control, good play by CR. They maintain their composure here. And there's a kick here, and maybe just thrown that away.
Well, I think the Havelocks pretty much in trouble, but rush kick and CRNFC, I'm not sure why they actually kicked that little ball.
Yes, being right up there, it's totally unnecessary to kick it away. They have so many forwards behind him. You just got to take the tackle and go down.
There seems to be an urgency in the game, Sean, in contrast to the last week semi-final between CH and Havelocks. You can see it was a lackluster affair, but today it seems both teams playing with a lot of urgency, and you could see CR and FC has come into the Havelocks territory and almost in a situation where they could get some points on the board.
Well, mate, if I saw the two semi-finals, I think if you were breathing normally, that would be a lot of urgency today. Because both sides, all four teams, except for Havelocks, I think really did not show much performance. But today, CRNFC, early morning ball for them, and Ajit, a very good chance of getting some points on the board.
Yes, and they've got a penalty coming up if they don't score here. So they got to score here. They have a great chance of scoring.
Definitely, that's going to be a try.
Excellent work by the forwards. That's Swarna Tilaka and Henry right up there, Chandrashan.
And Pavitra supporting, so try time for, there it is, look at that big smile. Nice to see the young schoolboy getting that early strike. And so important psychologically for CR to settle this up front, Ajit.
Yes, see, Swarna Tilaka really working hard there with Henry. You've got to take your players through. That's tremendous stuff. Terence Henry from Wesley College, just out of school. What a big lad.
I saw you playing, Ravi. Tell me about him.
Shan, this idea, Situvaj, if you could see, I think Ajit would be able to educate us more on being a coach for the national team for a long time. You could say that Ajit, how he did that rolling maul with his left hand on that ball, and how they peeled away on the left side and created a situation to score a lovely try.
Great body angle by the CR forwards, and a lot of support for Henry, who was with the ball. And this is excellent work for that young lad with Swarna Tilaka, also a young lad from St. Anthony's, Captain St. Anthony's, quite just a few years ago. Both over 120 kilograms, Chandrashan.
Brilliant stuff, of course. The young lads an opportunity to shine through today, and what better stage than the Clifford Cup finals. Caltex Clifford Cup final here live on Sirisa TV as Senthil Kumara tries but fails, doesn't have the direction. So here we are in a wonderful the tribe replay.
Yes,
I mean, it's a good story. Let's have a look for the reverse angle shot for you. Look at that. Havelocks really not good body position. And CR, it's CR all the way. There's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 2. And not even any sort of a defense, Ajit.
Yes, when you got that type of body angle and you got the wedge going, it's very difficult to defend that. And if you do defend that, you have to pull it down and it could be a penalty try. So that's a great start for CNFC as Havelocks kick off here. And again, CR with the ball. Henry back, that's Anuja, the hooker from Nalanda College. A tremendous player is in the Sri Lanka side. And that's a great start off the kickoff, Ravi.
Yeah, that was an ideal situation, Ajit. If you could say CRNFC dominating with their forward. They have been doing so during the season. An ideal pack with a lot of schoolboy talent. Seem to be on their act together today and seem to be moving very quick.
Yes, Johan Raju from Australia has come back there. We just saw him. We see that we have Sia attacking here with the hooker. That's a great replay action here. And that's Anuja Pereira, also in the Sri Lanka side. The front row for Sia has played for Sri Lanka. And that's tremendous securing there by Pavitra Fernando. And we set off here, Chandrashan.
Good take. Amidamadarika, Senthil. Sia very switched on, fully focused. They know they've got a job on their hands. They've got to finish strong and get some silverware into their cupboard because they were expected to go all the way this season, Ajit. And I have to say this, and they really disappointed their fans and the club management. Hektiarachi. Oh, still on. Ball went back. I think everybody expected CR to really outplay Kandy.
Yes.
They did, but they just couldn't finish.
Yes, I think they just got there almost, but let up in the last 15 minutes. And Kandy, being a very experienced side, it's a very professional side, came fighting back. What a tremendous fight back from Kandy that was.
Very much so. So Kandy not in the equation. The opportunity now for Pavitra and his side. He needs to inspire CR today to really play out of their skins and deliver for their big, strong fan base here at Longdon Place. And they've earned a penalty for their efforts. So early morning, CR and FC have done all the initial hard work. There's Zuki. I just, you were talking about Zuki coming on first time.
Yes, he's very important because he's a guy who gets the forwards into the game. He runs around the scrums and the ruck, so he gets the forwards into the game very quickly. And if you're playing with your forwards, he's the man to have as a scrum half.
It seems that the CRNFC is trying to use their heavy forwards to punch hole in the heaviest defense, and they've been doing it quite successfully within the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yes, we are a young pack without Samantha Diseram and Viraj Prasanna. Both have laid off rugby, great players for the CRNFC, but they are not in this tournament. They said we have had enough. They have played their hearts out for this club, and they've been very loyal members of the club. They have stayed out, so they've got a new lot coming in here, Ravi.
But there seems to be a good talented side. Ajit, lot of some of them playing for under 19 level. I could remember Shamil Mohammed play for Royal and then for the under 19 team.
Yes.
Another also I think he has represented Sri Lanka.
Yes.
And with this talent, CRNFC seems to, unfortunately, have not done well during the final games where they could have won. When they were in the situations where they could have won the cup, they lost it at the last stage
I
of the
think,
game. So
maybe there was a game plan that went awry slightly. They structured their play too much, and Candy was able to read into that, and so did the Havelocks and CH later on. So there's been a change in the patterns of play for today, and you will see that you will go on to see that they'll be doing something different today, and they already paid dividends.
Okay, so here we are. It's just 8 minutes gone. There was an opportunity for Senthil Kumar to get another 3-pointer, but he managed to miss. So the 5 remains. 8:32 gone on the clock. If you're joining us for the first time on Sirius TV, for this, the conclusion, the finale of the club season, the Caltex club season with the Clifford Cup. We got some good historical facts coming up in a break time. Ajit has got the whole team from the 1974, which was the last time CR and Havelocks met in a final for the Clifford Cup, which is a great story. He's going to get that team lined
I
up.
got most of the names here. Some guesswork between Anton Benedictami and Ronnie Shockman, and we are just trying to think who are the guys there. 32 years is a long time, but we got most of it.
It's a hell of a long time,
Yes.
Ajit.
But let me tell you the result that was won by Havelocks, 3 tries to 1.
Here we go, live, and Sharifuddin, Sheriff, supporting nicely, getting in there, now securing ball. Little scrappy out the base, but here we go. Big Henry taking the ball in now. Sia have done all the initial work. They've had the possession, Ajit, and they've kept the ball away from Havelocks.
Yes, but I think they might rue the fact that they missed those two. One conversion and a penalty. It all counts in a big game like this. Those are fairly easy kicks, and Senthil, in fact, kicked it awry. I believe Sharif should have been the man who should have taken those kicks. We have Jamaldin, who's a great place kicker himself. Dead-eyed Dick he was, has won many
My
of the matches
goodness.
for police. Real frustration for the opposition.
Very much so, and I remember the good days for Jamal. I used to actually cough and spit every time he used to come up to the ball because he was guaranteed not to miss when police got a penalty. Here's CRNFC, good sidestep, takes one.
Chamara from St. Anthony's, a great player, new player for Sia, and he's going to make waves as we go on in the next few seasons.
Rodrigo, inside, Hetiarachi, takes the one little flip, sets up now. Nice to see the 3/4 securing ball. Big line, very static. Dharmatilaka trying to make some inroad but doesn't succeed. CNFC a little bit static now. The number's not quite right there. Here's Sharif. Boom, takes the hit. Interception, turnover ball.
What great work by Zulka Hamid. This is why he's so good to have in the side.
This is Dharmatilaka, I think he's going to go all the way. Boom, right time, Hetiarachi. Easy, very easy, Ajit.
So easy when you play the correct, have the correct approach for the game. You know where the gaps are, where the holes are, and Sia saw this in the last Havelocks game, and they have taken them on very well. And that's it. Zulka Hamid did a lot of it there, right on the ground there, getting that ball out. He's such a useful player in the tight situations. And here is Anuradha Dharmatilaka, the best Sri Lanka forward as he was made to be last year, doing a lot of work, fast play, and this Hetiarachi finishing it off for the CR, 10-0 for the CR.
Well, here we go, CNFC just cleaning up. Have a look at this, and this is what Zulki did. In fact, he made it possible, he set it up. Nice clean out coming there from Senthil and his buddy. And then Dharmatilaka, look at the hands. Look at the hands, Ajit. Two hands on the ball. Look at that, ready to pass. Beautiful to see.
Anuradha, in fact, though, is lock forward second row. He's the fastest in this side. When they have the sprints, he beats the other guy. He beats the wingers.
Well, there you go.
He's a Sri Lanka Sevens player also.
Saw the lad playing sevens many years ago for this Isipatan, and I remember telling Martis then, this lad has got the potential to go all the way. He's got skill, pace, size, all of the above. Here we go, Senthil finally gets it. So the score racks up very quickly, Ravi.
Yeah, Sean, I think that urgency shown by Siaran FC is showing dividends, and they have got points on the board. They got just 10 points. That is 1 goal and 1 try. It's going to be difficult for Havis to come back. I think they got 2 goals. It's going to be difficult for Havis to come back with 2 tries. They have to score 3 tries to get over that score. And it seems that the Siaran FC forwards are leading the way and creating situations here, Sean.
Well, I think Ajit, tell me this, psychologically, for me, I think CR seemed to have the advantage even before they got on the park, Ajit.
I think they got a good bit of mental preparation, and they were all set for this game. They had a point to prove, and they were actually angry about what had happened in the earlier games, so they were really wanting to prove a point. But let me tell you, Havelocks cannot be written off. They have come from a 0 situation into a hero situation because they were right down in the depths beginning of the season. And what a comeback by the Havelocks. Their coach has done some tremendous work. And they're back here in the final, which would have amazed a lot, many in the beginning of the season.
Here's the pack weight, my goodness, 150 kg advantage again. So Havelocks have a lot of work cut out in that front row boiler house situation. Ajit, yes, I agree with you, because really many would have written the Havelocks off, but credit due to their young lads. They just stayed the course, fought like terriers, and really threw caution to the wind and shocked the hell out of the CHNFC. And here they are in the final.
Yeah, and you can't write them off even today. Now you can see them attacking here right on the CR goal line, 5 meters away, and that's a great penalty. That's well taken, well done by Havis.
Just as you were saying.
Just going over, I think. They have gone over. Have they gone over? No, they have just...
Oh, referee says come back, not 10. So pensive crowd for the Siaran FC in their shirts. A tense player base. Here's a replay. Rodrigo just overrunning with Zulki. The call might have been a little bit of a muffled call. That was probably why the ball bounced in the middle of both of them. And Havelocks quick to the breakdown. They're very quick to that breakdown point on the deck, Ajit.
Playing forward, going forward, they're very good. They're not too good with the ball behind them, but if they're moving forward, this pack is very good. They're very quick. And we see a break here. That's a great break on the open side for the Havelocks. The ball comes out their way. There could be a try here for the Havelocks.
Yes, ball coming up now. Suranga. He just needs to offload. Didn't offload. Needs to secure now. And they got men on the outside. Long pass. Oh, just couldn't offload. The tackle coming in from Siaran FC. I think that was Dinesh Kumara. Yes, young Dinesh Kumara taking out the man with the ball. Let's have a look at, here's the track. Little too high. Yes, too high, says referee.
Opportunity again, Sean, for Havis to score. I think there is a penalty given by the referee.
I feel that they should go for the kick at the post, because if they get 3 points, that's very valuable. It's only the start of the game, and I believe they should have gone for the 3 points.
Well, yes, I think an error of judgment there. They should have taken the 3-5 and just settled it there. But their confidence is good to think that they can go and get a 5-1. So here we go. Big man takes forward. Inches away, the ball, scrappy, Havelocks, just give it away a little bit. Siaran FC almost out of jail. And here's an opportunity now. Recovered by the fullback for Havelocks. Damatilaka collects.
Excellent drive in by Asha and Karatelis. You saw the body angle coming into their ruck. And that's the type of play we need in Sri Lanka rugby. Forwards coming into rucks like that. That was a great drive by Asha and Ravi. You saw the way he came in.
Absolutely, Ajay. That is some of
the ground.
Absolutely, Ajay. That is one of the ways. Some of the finer points with this good forward play has been advantage to Siaran FC.
There's Rodrigo now. Just trying to recover and get out of the 10-meter area. They're just on the Havelocks 10-meter. And they just chip the ball up there. Zoki calls for it, takes it, but unable to keep it in play. So good passage of play. And there's the bench for Siaran FC. The pace of the game, Ajit, is going to tell on the fitness later on, especially with that 850 plays 700 kg advantage.
Yes, but let me tell you, today is a very cool day compared to the weekend where they played the semi-finals. The temperature must be around 27, 28, so I think they should be able to last the game better today. only thing, like you said, if the Sia keeps on attacking with their forwards, they might wear the Havelocks down.
There's big Chawa. Takes it on. Havelocks now with a little bit of domination, but they lose the ball, or no, they don't. They've settled a little bit in this next 10-15 minutes. So just 17 on the clock and the mark, very obvious. Rodrigo, very experienced. He's not going to run too far. Oh, is he? He had no choice, really.
Let it go, let it go. Got the meters.
So even Steven in that sense, but Havelocks haven't been able to convert to points. And CINFC on the other hand have got the initial rush sorted out. They've got the advantage psychologically by scoring that 12 points. It could have easily been 18 points, Ajit, had they got the conversion and the penalty.
Yes, those 4 points are crucial in a game like this. Havelocks is a great comeback side. Many a time I've seen them coming back in the last 15-20 minutes, and you got to get a huge lead to really knock them off their feet.
Yes, it's an all or nothing theory today in this Clifford Cup finals. Terrible kick, not a very good one, but the bounce might favor somebody.
And I think that was a bit of a late tackle, and there's a tremendous advantage here for Sia. They are right up there, 22 meter, these are 40 meter, these where they are dangerous. Let's see it coming up here.
There's a replay. Oh no, it's a little bit too far. That's the ball bouncing back for Philip.
Stop, please.
Asange Arachi collecting, and then Kumara just taking him. Look at that. Good rush. So the grandstand full today for this Clifford Cup, Caltex Clifford Cup finals. If you're joining us on Sirisa TV for the first time, good to have you on board. Of course, it's 19 minutes gone. And yes, the scoreline is CR 12, Havelocks 0. It has been an early domination from the CINFC, and they've decided to go for the kick.
We saw Asanga Rodrigo there doing a lot of good work at the back there of that kick. He was very cool and collected. He was under tremendous pressure on in his own 22. And not only that, he saw the advantage. He saw an open field, took the game right up to the 40-meter line. And that's where his experience counts. And Sia is depending a lot on him today at the back of the field, that he would just cover up and sweep and do a lot of work like that.
Well, if Havelocks have done their game planning, Ajit, they'll obviously not kick to him. If they do kick to him, it's going to be tough days for Havelocks, because Rodrigo has the ability to just carve up ground, and he's such a sensible player under pressure, Ajit.
Yes, he can read the game very well from the back. A lot of work for Sia also. We see the Sia again with the ball here, and this is where they are very strong. Scored many a try this season, and if there's a collapse here, there should be a penalty. When you do this sort of thing, invariably you get a penalty or you score a try.
Good rolling ball, earned the penalty.
Okay, there's the penalty has gone the other way, Ravi.
Bimal.
I think that's the result of obstruction. If you see the Sia player, there's somebody in front and he's going into the player who was in front. So referee Jamaluddin thinks that there's an obstruction there. As a result, he penalizes and gives the kick to Havelocks.
There you go. So the official voice of Vimal Pereira.
I believe in the English side started this just before the World Cup. It was called trucking, I believe. Truck and trailing, where they had few fellows going in front and they are detached players having the ball. So it's a sort of an obstruction.
And I think, Ajit, that's a good call, because this is something that missing the melee of so many bodies being there.
So that's a good call by referee Jamaluddin, and Sia guilty of trucking and trailing.
So there you go, something new for the referees to look at. And here's
Nuwan Chamara, and he's a neat little player. And Zulka Hamid in the thick of things. He's really been up there, Chandrashan, today.
Well, he's taken the pressure well, and he's been able to answer that with a lot of interest. And here's Sheriff, big bang down the park, and the ball's going to run into touch. So
what a kick that is for CNFC.
That was good thinking, Ajit. That was good thinking. Actually, he spotted that gap there, and he kicked it in between the wing three quarter, the fullback, and getting almost about 50-meter touch on the left flank.
Sharif is under instruction today. Don't run across, you run straight or you kick. And he's very effective when he runs straight. He's one of the best runners when he's running straight. And when he's running across, it looks a bit...
he's very effective for the opposition.
Yes.
So.
But he's going to go a long way.
Absolutely.
Young Peter Wright, he's missing his buddy. He's Rinas on the wing. He's studying at Wales, but these two guys will go a long way in Sri Lanka rugby.
Great to see the schoolboys coming through the system, and that's really something that Sri Lanka rugby should be very proud of, having all these youngsters blooded early. And good translation into the top division for Sheriff and for Rinas, but unfortunately Rinas swapped for education. He's playing some good rugby. Here's a replay of that line out. He's playing some very good rugby in England. I was told by Kishore Dinesh that he's at the London School of Economics and he's on a full scholarship, so good luck to the lad. Playing some good division rugby at university level. Nice pictures, good to see they're happy. And that's really part of the requirement. The crowd's back for rugby, all dressed up to the nines, so she can see herself on TV and she's very happy about it. I'm sure he can't see himself on television because he's got the flag waving in his head. So you can see the cameras all over Sirisa, of course, the home of live rugby. As a few spots of rain hit the camera, you can see the spots on the lens there. For the lads in the middle, it has no meaning because Sharafuddin and to Sheriff, trying to get through that initial gap. He does so very well. And here's the big boy taking it forward, taking 3 out. Nice. Third phase ball coming up now for Sia. Here's big Loku, as they call him, Swarnatilaka. And that's the elder twin. Sharafuddin, Sheriff, little slip. Long cutout. Oh. Penalty has been earned. Jamaldeen says, hang on.
Just as well.
Yeah, you were offside.
We see what happens here. We have a number 17 of the Havelocks, same offside.
Next time we on the swimming.
So he's done that for the second time, as Jamaldeen tells him, and the next time it will be a yellow card. And that could be a professional foul, Peter.
No, I would want now.
I would think so because he's staying off there. He's getting in front of the front foot of the last man in the ruck situation and then staying there to obstruct the CR moving forward.
Well, there you go, Ravi. I just saw something. I'm not going to jump up and down about the Teletubby, but the kicking distance, we'll come back to that in a second. Here's Senthil with another opportunity rather, to try and get some points. And Rav, tell me, the Havelocks really were the team to try and break up the CRNFC today. They haven't managed to do that today, and it looks like CR have come a lot more focused. They are settled, they have a good game plan, and as Ajit was saying, everybody's been under instruction to have their personal game up to another level. That's working.
They have not been, Heavies have not been able to settle down in the game yet, Sean. They seem to be under pressure. The 10 the points on the board has been telling on them. I feel that they are getting a little demoralized with the points on the board, and that heavy forward play by continuous harassment by the CR forwards have, I think, has a demoralizing effect on Heavy side. So you can see that they are slow and steadily perishing moment by moment, because I think the CR side looks very organized and they seem to have a set game plan, and they are doing it very effectively with the forwards dominating.
Well, CR obviously were the superior side in the league. They were the ones expected to turn Candy on their heels, but they didn't do that in the season. And here we are now with an opportunity for CR and Pavitra to lead the boys back, get some silverware in the cupboard, Ajit, because that's so important for the game forward for CRNFC.
Yes, I think it's very important for the whole club. The confidence of the players need to be built up, and taking silverware home really does that. And this is very important for CR because they are on a team building project. They got an academy, all this, and winning a cup will just lift them up even into another level. And you draw players when you win. Candy is drawing players because they win so much.
Absolutely. I mean, people are content to sit on Candy's bench rather than go to another club. There we go. Here's Hetty, one of those lads from Candy, performing well now. Younger brother to Radhika Hettiarachi, who's turning out for the CH after many years. Look at that. Look at that. Henry just pushing people away, taking one and gaining yardage. That's so nice to see. Sharafuddin, another young Wesleyite. Hettiarachi, full of confidence now. Good hand up. There we go. Numbers on the outside. But he decides to cut back in and try and settle it.
Oh, that's a penalty surely.
But referee unsighted. Where's the touch judge?
Yeah, Viraj, I think he saw that.
Yes, the referee saw that. So the penalty given for hands in the ruck. And we're just trying. Oh, turn round, the penalty turn round, and the opportunity squandered there by CNFC. 10 meters away from that line, Ajit. That's really not acceptable.
Yes, I think they just got too carried away there. Maybe overconfidence coming in here. They have to work out everything to a plan, not get out of the plan just because they are just going overboard on enthusiasm.
Yes, and we're back live here. The score line, if you're joining us for the first time on Sirisa TV, 28 minutes almost gone. It's 15 plays nil. It's 15 to CNFC and nil to the Havelocks. So a lot of hard work in front for the Havelocks. If they're going to rescue the first half, they've got to do a lot of work in the next 15 minutes. Otherwise, they've got a huge hill in the second half. So on Sirisa TV, hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you may be in Sri Lanka. This is a spectacular day for club rugby because it's the Clifford Cup finals, the Caltex Clifford Cup finals, and Sia and Havelocks in a final after how long? Ajit? 25 odd years?
32 years these two sides are playing.
32 years, my goodness.
And let me just take you back to that side when Havelocks beat Sia. That was a tremendous game here. 3 tries to 1. Sia had an unbeaten season till then. They were right on top. Havelocks are the underdogs, but Desmond Harridge's side really pulled a great win over the CNFC. Sia had legendary figures like Didakas Ali Almeida in that side. Even as we see Hetiarachi doing a lot of work here. There Didakas Almeida, who is a legend. I'm sure his wife, he must be watching this with a bit of nostalgia. And this is this man Dinesh. What a strong runner he is, Chandrashan.
He's actually come on a lot. He's very low center of gravity, but he's been in the gym a lot, Rav, and worked very hard on his little crash ability. His initial burst has been working on pace. And let's have a look at this. Nice little dummy. And then the link up coming for Kumar. Look at him now.
Great skill by Zulki Hamid. Look at the way he fell and passed that ball. That's what he calls skill. You need to get rid of the ball, offload at the correct time. And this whole line is clicking now, Ravi. They're really clicking because you can see Hetiarachi really a great game here, going in straight, setting it up, then taking the breaks, and that's what you need from an outside center.
I think the entire three-quarter line is doing very well. I think it's a very clean flow of the ball from Zulki Hamid to the fly half. Then you get the two good centers and a very good win three-quarter. And having Asanka Rodrigo as an attacking fullback, Ajit, I would think it's a dream for a coach to have an attacking fullback, and that's what good sides always do.
There's the replays coming up,
and again you saw Kartel is going into that. Now anyone watching that, any forward watching that young players, that's the way to go into a ruck. Lovely body position. You're securing the ball, and Ashan Kartel is doing his work, very quietly but very well. He's having a huge work rate today, Ravi.
Yeah, but it seems to be he's all over the field. A lot of work he does without being noticed. And it is only the cameras could see his what he's up to.
So this former Tomian captain having a great game here, Ashayan Karatelis, and a lot of pressure on the fly up there, but a lovely kick to right. Oh, no, it's gone.
Quick take. Rodrigo looking for support, gets it now. Oh, hands on the deck there.
Could go either way. Yeah? That's a free for all here, and Havelocks have come through with that. That's great play by Havelocks. They turned over that ball. Asanga Rodrigo went into that, and now the tremendous pressure. And here's Nuan Chamara. Great recovery by him.
Good clean up the front.
This is becoming a very exciting game. A lot of open rugby. The ball being swung all over the place.
Rodrigo Lalindra just couldn't pass to anybody. And here's CNFC struggling back now. Damatilaka takes 2 to take him down, and Jamaldeen says carry on, up and down. This is relentless rugby. If Sia can now take the ball and get it into their hands, get the line sorted out, then he needs to stop with 2 or 3 players. He does that very well. Now they need to work that line out. Swing it wide, numbers, have they got space? Yes they have. Boom, right down.
Sia carrying the game away from the Havelocks. He had long run plays with 32 minutes gone. Sia well away here, 20 points to nil. and the players are really on fire. First the forwards started playing very well, and then the backs got into the game, and here is Asanga Rodrigo scoring a scintillating try. What pace for this evergreen Rodrigo, Chandashan?
Well, yes, I'll tell you this. It's so nice to see the boy. Ball tucked on the right-hand side, away from protecting. That's very nice to see, because he's got the ball protected away from the tackling side, and he's pumping up heavy. He's scored a try for his club, and I think he's happy as anybody can be.
Going back to that 74 side, Anton Benedict is in the pavilion, and I asked him, whom are you cheering? Anton is the general manager of the CRNFC. He's in charge of the administration, but he has been a legend at the Havelocks, and he captained Havelocks in 89 79 when they were triple champions. So he's been a legendary figure for the Havelocks, and not only for the Havelocks.
Then the police.
In 72 he was the captain, and they did very well that year. He has been a Sri Lankan national coach perhaps one of the best sides that was produced by Sri Lanka, with my friend Chandashan in it, in 1990 when they were number 3 in the Asiad, I believe. So this man, who's also been the president of the rugby union, is at the CRNFC. He is the manager, he's the administration manager, doing a great job here. If you look down the ground later on, you'll see a new pavilion coming up also. And Ravi Balasurya, the president, he just missed the kick here, and the score is 20. We see the replay of the try. Let's see. This great try. Zulka Hamid with the ball, and then we see Hetiarachi, Asanga all the way. There's no stopping this man. He saw the field, but he's leaving. Some guy is eating grass there.
Which is unbelievable to see. I mean, considering the amount of rugby he's got in his engine, Rav, it's a lot of rugby, but he's still got the pace, got the urgency, got the keenness, and got the desire. That's really what you need.
Like I mentioned earlier, Shan, that attacking fullback, any side would like to have an attacking fullback playing in the caliber of Asanga Rodrigo. He formed that overlap, and it was unstoppable thereafter.
Well, yes, of course, the hard work done by the forwards and the three quarters. It was a total team try. Beautiful to see from one side to the other side. The ball could have gone anywhere, and then Havelocks just not strong enough to hold the CRNFC out. So the doors are open. It's 20 points on the board. Just 34 minutes gone in this first half, and this Caltex Clifford Cup looks to be going the red shirts' way.
It seems to be that CRNFC are not allowed to Havelocks to take on the game, Shan. They have been dominating from the word go, and they seem to be attacking, and they're not put the Havelocks team into a defensive mode from almost for the first half.
Well, yes, and I think if you start defending the way the Havelocks have done, all the options seem to reduce in your head, and especially the skipper is going to have a hard time on his hands to try and convince his big boys, the Boiler House, to try and take the CR up front, because they're 150 kg heavier. That advantage begins to tell at some stage, I think.
Yes, I think it is already beginning to tell, because I think the weight for the Havelocks is only in the front row, and that's all the resistance they could give. They are taking hits, so the CR really tying down the Havelocks, tiring them down, and I think they planned the game very well here.
It seems to be one-way traffic, Ajit. It seems to be one-way traffic every time I see the CRNFC team having the ball, and Havelocks have been deprived of possession. I would like to see the stats at the half-time to see how much possession CRNFC has been enjoying in this first half.
Well, I think that's an interesting fact to look forward to. In the meantime, a good crowd here at the CRNFC. Beautiful day at Longdon Place. The lights are already on, because the light has dipped significantly, given that the clouds are over today. But we've got people watching from all around the grounds. In fact, here's Havelocks with the put-in. You can see the camera there at the back of his head. Beautiful shots. It's been a great rugby season, really, in terms of camera work, and CRNFC now with an opportunity to try and assert themselves more, to try and finish on top in this Clifford Cup final and put some silverware into the cupboard. Havelocks giving it away. The luck has gone all CRNFC's way. That comes from hard work, actually. Here we go again.
Take advantage. Advantage over. Advantage over.
Okay, Henry in trouble there, but still resting the ball.
Ajit, if you look at this whole match up to now, there has been only 4 scrums. Now that tells the story that the ball has been handled quite well. They have not been dropping the ball. That's why we see so much of movement.
I'm actually putting it down to the weather. Last Saturday we had such a hot day. One of the players told me, sir, my head was on fire. when it was so hot. Today it's a cool day and it's easy to play in this type of
And
weather.
that's the difference. If you don't have unforced errors and if you have only 4 scrums in a match so far, in 36 minutes of play, that means the ball is moving. And that also means that the crowd is getting something to look at.
Again, let me go back to the weather. I think it's about 28 degrees today, and it's easy to run in this type of weather. This is the rugby playing weather really, and I think the skill level has stepped up a lot because it's not hot here, Ravi.
Yeah, absolutely, Ajit. I think the weather plays a big role in a game, and it really encourages open play.
Well, I'll come back to that. I'll disagree with both those gentlemen in a little bit because you know what I like about fitness and the body conditioning and the mental capacity, all those important words. But right now, CRNFC have really adapted to the conditions. It rained overnight very heavily, so the ground's wet, but it's their home turf. Havelocks, on the other hand, have been defending, and you can see that they are just not able to get their composition right, Ajit. They just haven't got possession. They haven't been strong in the front row. Their line isn't functioning. They're not breaking up the CR play. So things aren't really rolling for the Havelocks.
Yes, I think they are really in trouble because of the
Get back.
possession
Number
factor.
one, you must get back.
Possession is the key, and here we see again this young guy, this is Dinesh, I believe. He's really running hard. Okay,
You get your hand.
he'll come in here. It's very quick. Oh,
Just a little bit of flair that could have been
Good
picked up
advantage.
and could have been a fabulous try. Zuki's overhead pass wasn't read by the
3 minutes.
centre coming
Good
round.
half,
Let's
good
have a look at that overhead. Nice skill. Here we go. Look at this. Ready, miss, now. Just
Step out,
had it
drag us
just
here.
floated a
Wait,
little bit more.
And that was Samir Mohammed, the prop, Shan.
Bring it up.
I'm not going to say anything because Ravi's smiling at me from the side of his
Stay behind
face.
the ball, behind the ball.
It was Shamil Mohammed, the prop, and he just couldn't pick that ball up off the deck.
let me tell you, this guy has a high skill level. In fact, his father also played for Royal during my time, and now is Shani. And we see that he can play number 8. He can even play center. He's
Hands
so
on the
quick.
ground, watch it.
He's a very quick forward, and it's a great advantage
Souza.
to have
Wait,
him up
second.
there.
Couch and
You see
hold.
all
Okay.
over the park. You see him all over
Stay
the park.
up.
There's
I
good
think
shot.
during one season he ended up as the best player in the tournament, school season.
Right.
So good potential for Sri Lanka rugby with these young lads showing good form, very good fitness. Look at this scrum. Here it is, the front row getting in now. Boom.
Stay up.
Nice.
It's a good
Nice.
scrum. That's a nice
That's
scrum.
last warning. Wait, second set. Couch and hold.
And that's
Okay.
the
Perfect
referee.
damaging.
Better. Stay up.
Look at that body position. That's tremendous.
Advantage.
Not a very
Good
good
ball,
pass
good
from
ball,
Zuki.
David.
The ball was
Come down.
dipping when it came from the scrum half, so the nose was down. Have a look at this. Yeah, look at that. It's just going and
That's the first bit of faulting by Omar, the former Wesley fly-off. He's been having a great season for the Sierra. In fact, Grant Dwyer played a lot of rugby around him. All his structured play was around Omar because he gives the catches and gives so quickly. It's easy to run off him. And he is also younger, just out of Wesley College. So this is a very young side for the CNFC that's doing so well.
absolutely, Ajit. And I'll tell you what, there was a nice little phrase that I saw. I was reading a report when the All Blacks, who just won the Bledisloe Cup, just outplaying Australia in that last game by about a slender margin. It was 5 points, I think.
That's today, is it?
No, last weekend. But I'll tell you, he said that the fly half was navigating the side. And that's really what Sarafuddin also does. Here's a replay of that. Good handoff. Nice to see. The good pressure. 1 and 2. Hello, who are you? Why are you looking at my shirt, says the lad.
Dinesh inviting him to take a shot right in front of the referee. That's a bit of shrewd play by Dinesh.
So half time, and in fact, I was talking about the word navigator. He was using navigator for the fly half, and that's a great word because it's so true. He has to navigate the park, he has to navigate the ball, he has to make sure his line takes off, and that was the word, and I really like that word.
First time I heard that myself, but it's I think that's a really good word to use for fire. We see 20 points for the Sia. They goal 1 try and then 2 other tries and a penalty. We have 60% possession, even as Ravi was saying earlier. Truly, Sia must have been dominating position. And Ravi, we see that on the screen. Territorially, 73%. And that's why we've got 20 points for the Sia. Territorial dominance is so important. Set scrums going Havelock's way, 36% for Sia. And lineouts, surely Sia would have had the advantage. And we see that. Unforced error 67, and that's where Havelocks have paid dearly today.
Caltex Clifford Cup's finals on Sirius TV. We're going to go to a commercial break. If you're at home, stay right where you are. We'll be back with the Teletubbies and a lot more.